What's on Your Mind is sponsored by ACMC 339 Dudley Road, New Star Radio 98.7 FM, Breakthrough Studios, and Reggae Jam.
Good afternoon. How you doing? Welcome to another program in the series of What's on Your Mind. Program is produced by Breakthrough TV, and I am Carl. Let me say thank you for tuning in. Hope all is well with you. Got a wonderful program lined up for you this afternoon. As you know, I always look at a few things that is happening around the world and in our own country. I look at sports, entertainment, and my rant. Now, my rant is very, very interesting this week because my rant is about something big that's in the news. My rant is about, that former Top Gear presenter. So I'm gonna have a rant about him because he's everywhere, and you know what I mean. A lot of people he's not been pleased with what he has to say. I've also got a wonderful guest on the program this afternoon. Also, wonderful Marcia, and we'll be having a chat with Marcia a little bit later on when she come on our screen. Let me say thank you once again for tuning in. And guess what? Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Can I believe it? Does anybody believe it? It's December. And what happened in December? Celebration. Celebrate good times. Yes, celebration time. So, what we have Christmas. Now, some of you don't believe in Christmas, so I could say happy holiday, right? And if it's not happy holiday, we can all say there's also Kwanzaa just coming up. Yeah, so let me say, I'm going to say happy Christmas and happy Kwanzaa. Hope all is well with you guys, and I hope you enjoy your Christmas. And what are you doing for Christmas? I know some of you are going away, some of you are staying at home, some of you are just chilling out, and some of you are glad for the break from work. Like myself, yes, glad for the break from work. You know what I mean? So let me say thank you for tuning into the program. I say hope all is well with you. And as I say, what have you done all your Christmas presents now? Yes, have you done all your Christmas presents? Yes. Let me see if we can pick up Marcia. I'm going to ask Marcia if has she done all her Christmas present. Marcia, are you there? Good afternoon. Ah, there you are. How are you?
Yes, I'm here. Good afternoon. I'm going to do, as you say, good afternoon, even though it's 8:20 in the UK.
You have to do that.
So, good afternoon, good evening,
But don't
wherever
forget,
you are in the world.
Don't forget, we broadcast across the world. So in some
Exactly. Good
places
afternoon.
it could be afternoon, and some places
Exactly.
it could be morning, and some
Exactly. I wish it was
places like
afternoon.
what we call in the east,
Exactly.
it's night. God, they're ahead of
Exactly.
us. So how you doing, Marcia?
So, wherever you want to be in the world, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, Happy
How
New
you?
Year.
I must say you're
I'm
looking
good.
lovely as usual.
Oh, we met up late earlier. You saw me in work mode with the youngsters. I had to dash home and yeah, just have a little relax in the bath. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 8 o'clock already.
So what, have you got all your Christmas presents?
Yes, and no, sorry.
No.
I stopped shopping for Christmas a long, long, long time
Have
ago.
you?
So no, I haven't got Christmas presents for anybody. I wish them the best for the year,
Yeah.
but no, I don't. I tend to
What you
do
do for?
Kwanzaa. I tend to do Kwanzaa,
Yeah.
so I tend to buy books and jewelry and just cultural items, because I just like to
Yeah.
support as
I
I
understand.
can in the community. And Kwanzaa is Christmas is a nice time for a reverence if you're
Yeah.
that way inclined as a Christian. It's not really supposed to be about going wild
That's
and
right.
Santa Claus and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So,
No,
but with
no, 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 no,
Kwanzaa,
no, no. There's no such thing as Santa Claus. Let's clear that up.
well,
And I,
exactly.
and
Well,
I don't want to. I don't want to.
everyone's made Christmas more about Santa
I
or
know,
the other one
which is
than
absolutely
about Christ
exactly, which is
himself.
absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't really follow that. So I've never put a Christmas tree in my house or no tinsel or nothing. But no disrespect to those who
Yeah.
do that. It's
Yeah.
just me. I'm kind of
And
different. I
and
just
I
have a
always say the
different.
best thing to say is Happy Holiday.
Happy holiday. happy Winterfest, happy, just happy holiday. You know, whatever it is you celebrate,
I got I got to say,
life
Willie.
is the way it is, and whatever you celebrate, have a good time. Be careful, be wise. Don't go mad. Don't
Yeah,
get violent, because a lot
yeah,
of that happens when we get merry.
yeah,
And Kwanzaa is about community and just remembering those values as well and ideals that we want to take into the new year. So
yeah.
I I like Kwanzaa. It's a
Happy
bit
holidays.
controversial.
Happy
Say
holidays,
that
I say.
again.
I say happy
Happy
holidays.
holidays. Happy holidays.
Yes.
And we deserve happy holidays,
Hmm.
don't we?
Yes, of course we do.
We deserve happy holidays, especially right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wish everyone peace and goodwill to all
What about love?
mankind. And
Peace,
love,
peace, goodwill, and love.
peace, peace, love, and happiness.
And
Let
happiness.
love rule.
And
Just let love
happiness.
rule all year round.
One
Love
love.
isn't just for Christmas.
One love.
One love.
Yeah.
One
Awesome.
love. Let it rule 24/7, every day of the week.
Yeah.
Let love
It would
rule.
be nice, wasn't it? It would be so nice.
It would. It would.
But
Some people just love up, love up, love up during the Christmas, and then they
yeah.
go back to hate once the Christmas period is over. Everyone gets together in their office parties and all hug up and everything, and then they're all backstabbing and
I
all that
know.
rivalry continues.
Tell me about it.
Yeah,
Myself, I've
yeah.
always stayed away from the office party. You
I
know.
know. I don't do them.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm so antisocial.
It is.
I
Yeah.
don't like work parties.
Okay. Don't forget, guys, to like,
Yeah.
share, and subscribe to the program. Now, let me start having a look at a few things that is happening. Start within our country. Now, there is quite a few strikes in our country. In fact, there's a big one with the ambulance, and they've actually called it a very very critical incident. And I think three hospital at the moment, three ambulance service along with the hospital, because the ambulance have to take you to the hospital. It's in a critical state, and basically they are on strike because of money. Now, the long and short of it, let me spell it out to you. The long and short of it is that be careful, because if you have an incident or something happen to you, or you hurt yourself, or you don't be careless. Just be, because if that happens, you don't know how long you gotta wait for an ambulance. It's one of those times. So I say it's not a very pretty time at the moment. You know what I mean? And so you don't know how long you're gonna be waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. So there's the warning is look after yourself. Stay away from any activities that you might be doing that may cause you injury or cause you harm. Yeah. So be careful. And I say it's like it's a very very strange time. And I say also the railway workers, they are going on strike as well. And as I say, a whole lot of things. The nurses, they're being on strike, and I think they're having another strike because they actually, and it's all about pay and money. And as I say, the Prime Minister Sunak has come under heavy fire. So I don't know how he's actually going to deal with this. Yeah. Marcia, are you there? Marcia? Marcia's not there. Yeah. As I said, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the program. I was talking about the ambulance, Marcia. What do you think?
Mm. It's a sad time, you know.
Yeah.
I had a hospital appointment and it's been cancelled about 3 times. I just had a letter today actually
Yeah.
to say that I have to now wait until the second week of February. I was supposed to have this appointment in November. It's a
Yeah.
third cancellation letter. And I do know as you say, we all have to be just very careful.
Yeah.
Take every precaution we can with our health. But at the end of the day, they have been underpaid for a long
Long,
time.
long time.
And I'm hearing about nurses that have to be going to food banks, and that's not good.
No.
I
No.
think we spent a lot of time clapping for nurses during
Yeah.
COVID. We recognised just how important they were, but why
Exactly.
should they be struggling? And I do know nurses. I know they've been struggling for years. I know they've had to count pennies. A lot of our community are made up of nurses.
Hmm.
It's black women's profession. And sometimes I wonder if there's just such an element of racism because it's such a black dominated profession. I'm going to say this
Yeah,
that these people are just are neglected, really.
that's right. And
If
you
you
know what?
think of a nurse, you generally think of a black woman, don't you?
Yeah.
You
And
know, if
you know
you
what? One of the things I've always says as well is that we see people who pay our TV license to sitting around in big warm
mm,
studios and they're getting a ridiculous
yeah,
amount of money.
yeah,
Stupid money they get in. And yet the nurses, we see MP as well, they get
yeah,
stupid money. And yet,
mm,
they don't say MP, yes I did. And they get stupid money. You know what I mean? And yet
yeah,
our own nurse that we need so much, you know,
yeah,
having to fight all the time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We saw how many of them lost their lives because they are on the front
Of
line
course.
when
Of
anything
course.
happens. And it's just respect. Women raising families are no longer in a position to be tolerant of being abused in that way. I know my
Yeah.
language sounds very extreme, but being a black woman of certain age, I know of how nurses have been treated over the years, and they've been voiceless
Yeah.
because it is a vocation for a lot of women, and they've never really been expected to take this sort of action.
Yeah. Yeah.
So everyone's in shock about it, but they
It
have
is.
to
It
do what
is.
they've got to do. And I
Yeah.
just pray we all just take good care of ourselves. I wouldn't like to think anyone ends up, in a health crisis,
Or in,
caught up in a crisis right
or
now.
in A&E if you get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I was in A&E the other day. How long was I in A&E for? About 8 hours.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
Serious.
It was absolutely bad. They on the door before you even get in there. They tell you it's
Yeah.
like you're gonna. It's likely you're gonna have a 9 hour wait,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that was at the local A&E.
Crazy, innit?
And I thought it really felt like as being in what they would call a third world country. There were people on trolleys with
Yeah,
little screens around them. I saw
and
someone
it's
on a
been like that for
trolley
quite
and they
some time.
brought the screen round,
And it's been like that for
and the
quite some
person
time.
needed to say that again.
I said it's been like that for quite some time.
It has, and you don't know until you find yourself in a position where you're
Yeah.
needing to pay a visit to the hospital,
Yeah.
and it is quite shocking to see. It opened my eyes,
Yeah.
and nurses are burning out. They train just as hard as anybody else. They still have to get their degrees, train for 4 years, sacrifice their families a lot of the time as well, working all hours, all shifts,
Yeah.
and it affects their health.
It does.
To have to go to a food bank, to have to look into your cupboard and you haven't got enough food to feed your children, and you can actually see others
Yeah. I know, Marcia, it's
becoming
tough.
wealthy at your expense.
I gotta move from that one. It's tough. I know what it
Yeah,
says. No.
it's. I know. I'm going on about it. It's a personal thing of mine because a lot of my family are
And
actually
then most of
nurses.
us
So
are.
I know
Most of us families are.
exactly.
Yeah. So
I
it's
know
just one of
first
those. Things.
start, and it's not just the nurses,
Yeah.
the
It's close to home.
carers,
It's close to
the
home.
caring profession.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Now let me
yeah,
move on.
the ugly
Now,
sisters of the nation.
now, 8 men have been arrested in India of gang raping a 16-year-old girl, and she was held in a bungalow for 12 hours while they gang raped her. Police are investigating, so we'll see what happens in that situation. Yeah, but it's always a terrible thing when you hear those stories. You know what I mean? And India seems to be turning up a lot of this all the time. You know what I mean? You see it in the major news, and I'd say it's disgusting. I don't know what they should do with those people when they actually catch them. Now, my next story comes to London, and this happens in London at in Brixton, the O2 Academy. Now, there was what you call say, there was a crush. There was a crush in Brixton at the O2 Academy last Thursday, and one lady died, and Rebecca, you see on our screen there, she actually died, and also two other person was taken to hospital with serious injury, and one of those lady we learned today has actually died, and her name is actually Gabby Hutchinson. Now they say that there was a crush and there was a rush, and a lot of people didn't have any ticket, so it was, you know, chaos. You know what I mean? And they say when you see concerts like that where people get hurt, you have to say the organizers and the promoters, what are they doing? Now, police are actually looking at CCTV and cameras, people who taking photographs and videos to see what they can come up with. And they say it's such a terrible thing. That mother was a young mother. She had two children, and she was a nursing graduate. So, as I say, those things are very, very terrible when you see them. And we say big condolence to both family. You know what I mean? And as I say, you don't expect when you go to a concert that sort of thing happens. And there was there for an Afrobeat artist who was actually there. You know what I mean? So it is terrible when you see that to see that's happened. Marcia, are you done, Marcia? Are you there, please? Talk to me about this.
I am. Condolences to the family. What a shocking thing to happen. You're just there for a concert and this happens. It's I just have no words. I was absolutely shocked when I heard this about this. Absolutely shocking. And she's a mom. She's got two young children, hasn't
Yeah,
she?
she got two young children.
You know,
Yeah.
young graduates. What a tragic, tragic waste of a young life.
Terrible, terrible. You know what I mean? Terrible.
Yeah,
And her
yeah.
children. You know what I mean? Her children.
Mm,
That is the most stressful thing about it. You know what I mean? Absolutely
mm.
devastated. And
I don't know what got into them. I mean, I don't know what got into them. Why would they? But anyway, it's um, it's unspeakable, really. No one would imagine
it is
something like
unspeakable.
that
And
to
that
happen.
is a big place. You know what I mean? That is a big place.
Mm,
And I saw
yeah,
some clips where people was rushing outside and all doing crazy things. You know what I mean? Crazy things. There was actually doing.
mad,
And even
mad.
the security guard. I mean, the security guard go to work to work. You know what I mean? You don't expect a member of your family to go to work and then come back. They're dead. Do you?
Oh yes, the security guard died as well.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I just heard that this morning, actually.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
as I say, that is
Yeah.
news just coming in this morning. And I say quite a few people has
Mm,
also got injured. You know what I mean? They got injured. So
yeah.
it's absolutely
Yeah.
disgusting. So
It
we'll
reminds me
see.
of that. What was that football match? That big old stampede.
Was that in
Do
the
you remember
Euro? Yeah, that was in the Euro
that?
at the final. England was playing somebody. Yeah, they was trying
Yes,
to get in the
yes.
stadium in Wembley.
Similar sort of thing.
Yeah,
What was that called again? It reminds
it,
me of that a little bit.
yeah,
Obviously,
it
the
was the
numbers are
Euro.
different,
It
but
was
the
the Euro.
behaviour,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's mad.
It is. As I say,
Absolutely wrong.
it's disgusting. Anyway, let me move on to my next story. Now, a man has been fighting for his life, and there was a shooting in London, and two shooting has taken place in 3 days. And say the man is actually fighting for his life. A 25-year-old man in Tulse Hill, North London. This happened on Sunday night, and they say he's still fighting for his life. Police are investigating and to find out what exactly has happened. And also, while I'm still with that sort of story, it's crazy. It's crazy this week because a young mother has two children, and she was stabbed also in London. You know what I mean? So she's dead. And I say, it's just one of those crazy things that sometimes you don't really know what is going on in the world. And my next story takes me to Canada. Now, Canada. Now, 5 people killed in Canada. Now, this man actually went into a condominium, and he goes into different apartments in Canada, in the condominium, and he was shooting different people, killing different people. You know what I mean? In this massive place, massive building. And the police, he came up against the police force, and the police with their firearms actually shoot him. So he's dead. But as I say, this man had left a lot of people injured. And so I say, when you see crazy things like this going on, you don't know what to do. You don't know what to make of it. And Canada, you know what I mean? I always thought Canada may have been a very peaceful place, and this sort of thing doesn't go on in Canada. But I got to say, over the years, saying that, over the past couple of months I've been doing this program, I have seen quite a few different stories that's actually coming out of Canada. Get to like, share, and subscribe to the program. Marcia, where are you?
I'm
Talk to me about
here.
Canada.
Still here. Still
You're
here.
still here.
Still here. Yeah, nowhere. There's no peaceful place
There's no peaceful
on
places
earth
there.
anymore. The
There's no,
madness has
there's no
taken
way we can
over.
run and hide and do anything.
Nowhere, nowhere.
Yeah.
As R.I.P. Terry Hall, who passed this week. He wrote a song which I actually shared the other day, just responding to other situations. The lunatics have
Yeah,
taken over the
he's coming
asylum.
up. He's actually coming up in my entertainment.
Okay.
In my entertainment, I'm going to talk about him a little bit later on in my entertainment.
Yeah.
Now, now let me move to Jamaica because this is also a very very serious situation. Now, a 23-year-old man, he actually had sexual intercourse with an underage girl, but the girl has got disability issues. You know what I mean? Intelligent um, issues. You know what I mean? So the court has decided that because she can't respond, or her intelligence is not very strong, they have to um, they have to set him free. And also mental issues, they have to set him free. Now this happens in 2014. So this man who has abused this young lady who had mental health issues is walking free. So I don't know how that sits with the family, or you know what I mean, or when people do things like this, you know what I mean. I say the girl suffer from mental health issues, and when people do this, you know what I mean, and walk free, it is disgusting, you know what I mean. And I said the Crown, the Supreme Court has let this man free, and the girl was under 16, you know. So those things that just makes you just you don't know what to say. You don't know what to say about the law. They say the law is an ass. You know what I mean? And this is just because she couldn't testify. You know what I mean? They say because of her mental health issues or mental issues, she couldn't testify, so they have to set the man free. Marcia?
Hmm. Yeah, that's so sad. That's so sad. There's a country in Africa. I don't know if it's Ghana
Yeah.
or Nigeria. They want to bring in a death penalty actually for men who rape children.
Mm-hmm.
If they've not brought it in yet, I think it's one of their proposals, and
Mm-hmm.
a life sentence for rapists,
Yeah.
alongside maybe castration as well. Um, yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah. I know that
It
been
just
kicking
leaves the
around.
door open for
That
anybody then
that
really to
that,
take
that been kicking
advantage
around
of.
for a long, long time. I recall when I was growing up
Okay.
as a young child. You know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
I was always, my head was always,
Yeah.
and even as a young child, I remember that they was actually talking about that. I used to sit down when I was very,
Hmm.
very young and listen to television talking, not even television, radio programs, and they was discussing this sort of thing, you know what I mean? And this has been going on for a
Yeah.
very, very long time.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah,
But there has to be a strong deterrent. I
yeah,
mean, rapists have been getting off for a very, very long time.
yeah,
And there needs to be a stronger deterrence for that sort of thing.
yeah,
You know, it's
I don't know.
really...
Now, let's come to our town. Now, a man been sleeping in his car. Mr. Tassif been sleeping in his car because he's been hounded out of his house by abused and racist people who also been wearing hoods and cover their face and driving him out of his house. Now, he's asked Birmingham Council to help him. Birmingham Council reply, oh, his needs are not exceptional, so it's not going to happen. So if you've been racial abused and all that sort of thing happened to you and you say you want to move, how come they haven't moved this man? And then, as I said, this has been going on for quite some years. He's a taxi driver. And when you see things like that, you think, whoa, what is going on? What is going on? This man has to be living in his car because he's been driven out of his house by racist abuse and that sort of thing. You know what I mean? So, and he's living in fear because he can't see the people's face because they all hood up, cover their face, mask when they come to abuse and assault him. And that is also a very, very serious thing. And this is happening in my own town. This is happening in Birmingham, King Standing. Birmingham, King Standing, this is happening.
Wow, that's disgraceful. Can't he record them? Can't they? If this is happening on a regular basis, why can't they use video evidence? And
Yeah, well,
you might not be able
if
to capture their faces. They're
if they're
covered up,
hooded
but you
up and they
capture
cover the
their...
mask, you can see them, but you can't identify, can you?
Yeah,
You know
but
what I
then
mean?
at least he can prove that he's being harassed.
Yeah,
Um, at least he can prove that he's been harassed if he's got
yeah.
some evidence. But yeah, certain areas of Birmingham are noted for their long-standing, should I say, and it rhymes with that,
Yes,
history of racial abuse, and
yes, 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 yes.
people have lost
There's
their
still
lives in certain
still
areas.
places in our city that is actually like that.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
I record
Certain
a
places you really don't want to walk through.
good colleague of mine tell me a story many years ago, and he said he actually moved to this place, and he thought it was a nice
Mm,
place, and the place he lived wasn't such a nice place, but he moved to this place, and he thought it was a nice place, and he has to end up running back to actually where he was coming from because of the horrible abuse that he has. You know what I mean? Absolutely, and that's racial abuse. Yeah, and I say, I
yeah,
I I,
often.
I can't understand sometimes what is going on because I, 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 I I heard about this in the 70s. We left the 70s and the 80s long time, but it seems to be getting worse. Marcia, talk to me.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I know of many people. They thought they'd escape the inner city, and some of these areas are quite deprived, but that's where many have been brought up, and move out for a better life. Green streets, green tree-lined streets, and lovely big garages, and all the rest of it. Nice big house in a nice area with a nice school. But then the children are bullied out of school until and parents have to move back so the
Yeah,
child can go back
yeah,
to a school
absolutely.
where the children can see other children
Horrible,
as
horrible.
them. Because I think the issue is you tend to be outnumbered when the further you move away, the further you move out.
Yeah,
And, it's not everywhere, but some areas do not want to let others anywhere near them. They want to
that's
keep
right.
it,
That's right. That's right. That's
so
right.
still goes on,
It is goes on.
still goes on. I
And
don't think there's
I
any
think,
movement
I
there.
think, I think that's just need sorting out by the governments and different laws. You know what I mean? If the government step down, you know what I mean, and these people don't get away with it and get tough. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
see how quick they
yeah,
get tough on me and you if we do something. you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
So I
yeah.
think the government
And it's a
actually needs
form
to
of
get tough.
terrorism.
Right?
It should be seen as a form of. It should be seen as a form of terrorism, really.
Yes. Well, of course it is.
Should
That's what it
be.
is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah. And in
yeah,
a way, others are protected. Like you can't say anything against Jewish people because that would be anti-Semitic. But
exactly.
how can you treat black people in this way? Well,
Exactly.
this is as a good friend of mine would say, Africantic or something.
It is. It is.
Anti Africanism.
Yeah, it is anti-African. Anti-African, yeah.
Yeah.
We go for that one,
When
yes.
does that become a crime?
Yeah.
When can you
They
get
don't.
locked up for
You know what?
racial
Maybe as well,
abuse?
maybe as well, we as a people need to stand up more and come together more.
Mm.
You understand?
Oh yeah.
Because some of us,
Definitely.
I'm all right now, I'm all right now, Jack. Me have a nice house, me have a nice job. Me gone up there, so me don't care about you down here, so. Because some of our people are that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We want to go to that
Yeah.
neighborhood now because me all right. There's nothing wrong with betting off yourself or living better. But some of us got that mentality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It can often break the unity that we often seek
I,
and need.
I've, I've a
You
listened to my
know.
next. I've a listened to my next story. No, let me go to Africa. No, no. The U.S. African summit has taken place in the United States. The Ghana president has said Africa needs to come together. Yes. And African don't need to beg the West for anything. Yeah. Africa needs to come together and focus on Africa and spend Africa money in Africa and make Africa great. And we don't have to beg for respect. People will respect you. That coming together is the fantastic bit of information. Fantastic. And don't see Africa, even though there's so much different countries in Africa, don't see Africa as different countries. See Africa as a united continent and treat it as a continent. That is what the president of Ghana has said. Also, the Kenyan president has also said that America needs Africa. Marcia, don't go quiet on me. So now what about coming together?
It's about time, and it will happen. I
Yeah,
think it's inevitable that this will happen. You know, I think with the new economy and with the threats really that Africa faces as a continent,
yeah,
it's time that Africa realizes that it's for its survival. It needs to think in a unified way.
exactly.
So what was seen as, a lot of these divisions that were imposed by others, we need to
Yes.
remove those dividing lines. A lot of these divisions were put in place during the scramble for Africa, and they still remain.
Yeah,
That needs to be dismantled.
that's right.
And there'll always be differences between people, but those differences need to be put aside for one common
Yeah,
currency, common plan, and United Nation of Africa would be United Nation of Africa would be fantastic.
yeah, 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 yeah. Just like
I
how
think
back in
it's
the,
heading that way.
just
I think it's
just like how
heading
back
that
in the
way.
day, even though they don't agree, just like how back in the day, even
Yeah,
though they don't agree, you had the United States of America. Even though
yeah,
they've got issues,
yeah,
you know, they're
yeah,
still the United States of America.
yeah. Well, it's not wishful thinking. You know, I think steps and plans are being made toward that, really, that look pretty concrete.
Hmm.
So it's more than just an idealistic goal now. I think, it's going to happen
Yeah.
eventually, hopefully in our lifetime.
Mm. And
And
this, as I said, the president has said, stop begging, you know what I mean, and focus on Africa. And because Africa has
yeah,
got so
yeah,
much, yeah, you know what I mean, because all the time you see Africa, you know what I mean, and the way they treat Africa in the news, you know what I mean, it's like, we're talking about this, but sometimes you don't even hear any story coming out of Africa in the Western press. You know what I mean? All you hear is
right,
degrading information. You never sort of hear any good news sort of coming out. You know what I mean? It's just all the time degrading. You know what I mean? Information. African is starving. African is hungry, and they don't show the university the progress that Africa is doing and the great things that Africa is doing.
that's right.
Don't
There's
forget.
a lot of wealth, so much wealth. It's the wealthiest place in the world,
Of course,
and
of course.
you have to look after what you've got. And there's more. There are moves to protect for Africans to protect
If
what's
there wasn't
theirs.
so much good things in Africa, why the hell would the West
I
be there?
know, I know, I
I only
know,
deal with common sense
I know,
most of the times.
I know.
Don't forget.
But as the power shifts away from the West, and the West are losing a lot of their strangleholds, and people are becoming more and more aware as well.
Yeah, well,
So it's inevitable in
look at China.
time that,
Look at China.
yeah, yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
believe it's Africa's time.
yeah.
It's Africa's time.
Marvelous. I was gonna say, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the program. Now, let me go a bit lighter. Sports. Usain Bolt to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award from the BBC, and that is taking place possibly now, sometime tonight. The 8 times gold medal, the 8 times world champion, 8 gold medals. He's the champion of the 100 meters and the 200 meters. You know what I mean? So it's a lifetime award for him, and we say big congratulations to Usain Bolt, the man, the history man. His record has still not been beaten, and his record will actually take a long time to beat. The world fastest sprinter. I know you would like Usain Bolt, Marcia.
Of course, of course. It's such
I
a
just know
thing.
you was gonna,
This
I just know you was dying to come in on that.
that's what I was supposed to say. Even if I didn't, I'd just say yeah. I don't want to upset anybody, but
I know,
of course.
I know you was gonna. I
It's
know you was dying to come in on that.
what a
Yeah,
record to hold. What a record to have.
I know, I know.
What a record to have. So, yeah, absolutely. Great role model as well. The children absolutely love you,
Love
Sain.
them, does it?
Fantastic hero.
It's good to have those, isn't it? Fantastic.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I guess as well, what I've always told me about you, saying is how good he is. And Ken, I bet you now. Now a lot of people will like me for saying this. I bet you now, over the years, the amount of races win and all those records he made, I bet there was always testing him and testing him and testing him and testing him.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
They would do that,
Exactly.
wouldn't they?
Mm, yeah. And
Somebody
at his
gonna ask
age
me
as
who's
well.
them.
Yeah. How old is Usain now anyway? How old is he? To continue to maintain that record for so long is something, isn't it?
Yeah, it was fast though, wasn't it? And it started very young.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure his age, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
but
Mm,
he's very good. You know what I mean? There's nobody like him, you know
yeah.
what I mean? And
As a
I'm gonna
true
talk.
living Superman.
Yeah, yeah. Now, let me move on. Time is time is time is what we call burning. Let me move on. Now, as you know, Argentina fans welcome their team back home after winning the World Cup football. Fantastic. I gotta tell you, um, I was watching it and I was fell asleep because I I was just lying there, fell asleep, and Argentina got 2 goals. When Argentina get 2 goals, I thought, all right, this is it. They're gonna win. So I fell asleep and I have one of those power naps, and then all of a sudden I wake up out of my power nap, and then slap and wallop. it was 3-1. Sorry, it was yeah, it was something like that. 2-1 or 3-1. Yeah, but I know the French had got one. Yeah, but it is easy like that. Then before I know it was another one. Absolutely fantastic game. Some people say that's the best game they've ever seen. That is the best game I've ever seen. Right. So I say absolute marvelous. And the other thing I must say as well about this, about football, because a lot of people say about football, 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 football. Now, the thing I've always noticed about football and the World Cup, right? Now, take note. In every team, you have to have what you call a fantastic player, a superstar. Each team that's won the World Cup, you have a fantastic player. You had a superstar who helps for the other team for the team to win the World Cup. So when we go back, I think of Pele, the great Pele, right? Brazil. You have Maradona, Argentina. Yes. You have Zidane and Thierry Henry for France. All win the World Cup. You know what I mean? You also have a star in Portugal. So each team that actually wins the World Cup, they have a superstars. So England, I'm not knocking you, but take note. And it's the same thing with different sports. You see, so you had in different sports, individual sports, you always have somebody who's more talented at their sport than anybody else. You had the great Muhammad Ali. You got the guy we just talked about, Usain Bolt. Superstar. You need superstars. And if you have a football team and you ain't got no superstar in it that reach that level, that can do everything, that can do this and do this and do this around your team, you are not going to win the World Cup. You have also the French guy, the 23-year-old French guy. Well, happy. Yes. And it is time now. Because you see how fantastic he is. Let's move to him. Let's move to the superstar. He's won the golden boot. Yeah. Yeah. And as I say, he's a superstar. He's been in 2 World Cups at the age of 23. You see what I'm talking about? You have to have superstars in your team. And as I say, all countries around the world, take note. If you don't have a superstar that's doing all of that, you're not going to win the World Cup. Yes. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Marcia, I know you don't like football. Happy. Fantastic player. And he's also won the Golden
Yeah.
Boot. And I must say before I move on, he's also won the hat trick. He's the second player to win the hat trick at the World Cup championship since 1966. Yeah, absolutely fantastic player. Yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the program. Mbappe, fantastic player. Marcia, talk to me about football. Where,
Me talk
where
about
you been?
football. You know,
I know
you're
I'm
gonna have
gonna
a,
pull you up.
you
I
know
know we're
what? To
gonna
be
say
honest with
something. If you
you,
say it again,
pretty
you
good
say it
one.
last time in the program. If you say it again, I'm gonna pull you up.
No, no, no. Something really funny happened. I couldn't tell you who was playing or anything like that, but I did catch a couple of games. And I did actually kind of feel quite sad, like, oh my God, it's over now. And I missed all that action, all that. You know what I mean? Now I could probably see a little bit of what all the fuss is
You feel a
about.
bit overwhelmed.
I was actually enjoying the game.
I'm
I
glad you
couldn't tell
say
you
that,
who was playing.
I'm glad you say,
Couldn't tell
you
you
know
who was
what, I was
playing.
going to pull you up. You know, I was going to pull you up.
Oh yeah,
Because the last
go
time you was on
on.
this program,
Yeah.
the last time you was on this program, you said to me, why would I want to watch a bunch of blokes running around kicking the ball? However, what I should have
I
said to you
know.
at that time, I should have said to you, there is a lot of women playing football now.
Yeah, true, true. But you didn't say it then.
I
But
got
I
you.
did actually. I did, right. Don't get me wrong. I'm not that much of a philistine. I did actually watch a couple of games and enjoy just the whole everything about it. So I was half asleep. I
Mm,
woke up and saw it on, and I thought I'm actually enjoying watching this. So next time, next World Cup, when I'm 65 or whenever it's back, I will
serious,
take notes.
serious.
I will watch it. How many years is it? 4 years? Or 7 years? How often does the World Cup come round?
Seven 4 years.
Every 4 years.
Yeah.
Shame. Shame it isn't 7 years.
You say seven.
It's 4 years. It comes up so quickly, though. It just seemed like the other day everyone was going on
No,
about the World
what
Cup.
was happening the other day? Don't get it confused. What was happening the other day is the Euro.
The Euros.
Yeah, so
I
don't get
know
it
about
confused. The
that.
Euro
That's
will
like a
be,
couple
I
of
think the
years
Euro will be
back.
in 2 years.
Yeah, every
The
two
Euro is coming up.
years.
Believe it or not, the
Yeah,
Euro is coming up again. Yeah.
yeah.
Don't
I
forget.
like football though. I've got brothers and they love football. It's the only time they're ever quiet and they just disappear. So
Yeah.
football's a good thing and
Right. Fantastic. Let me look at entertainment now.
keep you guys busy
Yeah.
and out of trouble.
Entertainment. Keep us more busy at the time. Listen, I don't play football, but I spend my time doing other things.
You
Much.
don't play football, Carl?
I don't play football.
Really?
I've hardly. I
Okay.
know about the game. This is a weird thing to
Yeah.
this is a weird thing to admit. I know about the game, but I hardly ever played football.
Oh well.
But I got involved in music when I was very
Yeah.
very young. And when you get in
Yeah.
music, you just want to play your instrument, man. Nobody can bother you.
Yeah.
Nobody's not kicking you about. Nobody's not running around the field. And that's what I do.
You
By
can do both, you
I
know.
do my I do like running. I like
Okay.
athletics and all that sort of thing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
when I was doing my music, you know what I mean, I don't have time to go and play football. I rather be playing
Yeah.
and listening and listening
Choose
and
what you're
listening
gonna
and
do
playing and
both.
something like that. So I didn't have time to
Yeah.
play football.
Yeah, I
You
know
know
a
what I mean?
few good musicians who gave up a football career. You can't do both.
No, no,
And I
no.
know
Because it's
some good footballers who gave up music. So it's one or the other.
that's right.
I hear
You
you.
can't have both. So that's it.
I hear you.
And
It is
it's that
one
big
and
sacrifice you got to do. You know. Plus, it's easier to just get up out your bed, start playing your instrument instead of having to get out and go on a cold pitch, cold field, and running around, as you say, playing football.
yeah, yeah.
Right. Let me move on. Let me go to entertainment. Now, Popcorn and Burna Boy. Now, Burna Boy did a big concert in Jamaica at the National Stadium. It was locked. It was packed. And he did very, very well. A lot of people was there. Now, Popcorn, as you know, the dancehall Jamaican artist, he actually had issues with the mic. So you know Poppy, innit? Poppy being Poppy. Poppy walk off the stage. So that is one of those ones, you know what I mean? And you saw it's just one of those ones that happens, you know what I mean? He walked off the stage and he wasn't happy. But I think he actually later on calmed down. But I say that was a massive concert. And I say the Burner Boy, you know what I mean, actually was marvelous. And I said the place was packed. It's ram. Yeah. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the program. Moving on. My next entertainment news is wow, the wonderful Rihanna. Riri. Now Riri has actually posted the first picture of her young baby, which is actually marvelous. And she actually had the baby in May. So she posted a picture of the baby on TikTok. You know what I mean? I say, wonderful, what mother and child, they have done so well. Yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the program. Now, moving on quickly as well. My time is running quickly. Now, Paramount Pictures. As you know, Paramount Pictures is making a biopic of Bob Marley and his life. No, they've actually started shooting this in London a couple of days ago. So I'm looking forward to see that. Also, what I'm looking forward to is to see there's a film as well, which is about Marcus Garvey. Marcus Messiah Garvey is being made as well. So I am also looking forward to seeing that film as well. Marcus Garvey, fantastic Jamaican hero. I've always wondered though, this is what happens to, this is what you think. I always wonder why Marcus Garvey never went to Africa. He went to a lot of places, Europe, a lot of places, but he never went to Africa. And he talks so much about Africa. And he traveled the world. Yeah. My next story is quickly moving on as my time is running. Singer, Jack Ure. Jack Ure. Jack Ure is to release 9 studio albums. His 9th studio album. Now, I must tell you, Jack Ure is in prison in the Netherlands. He's doing 6 years in the Netherlands. And, but he's still making music. The album is being put out by VP. And I say he's doing, he's in the Netherlands for attempted manslaughter. And I say he's on a 6-year sentence. So Jack Ure never learned because he was in prison once before. So, and he thought when you go to prison, you will learn. But he's just one of them ones. Yeah. My rant comes in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the program. Let's go to my... Now, finally, before my rant. Now, I know Marcia actually was talking about this young man. Wow, Terry Hall, the specials, Fun Boy 3, The Color Fields, has died at the age of 63. This town is coming like a ghost town. Yeah, the classic track, you know what I mean? So, as I say, he's died and he's no longer with us. A lot of tributes has been paid to him, you know what I mean? And as I say, he's one of those ones. Marcia, I know you like this artist.
I did. I would have been a young teenager when all this was going on. I'm not much younger than these guys though, but still, they were all teenagers back then anyway when they were doing this. And such a tragic life that he had. It's only just since his passing that I realised that he was a victim of a terrible abduction.
Serious.
He was kidnapped and sexually abused by a teacher who I think took him off abroad and then dumped him, beat him up and dumped him. And for years after that, he just found it difficult, absolutely struggled with his mental health and suffered with bipolar. 12 years old, to think that he went through that. Yeah. Absolutely horrific experience. That he started sharing not long, just in a few years before he passed recently, started sharing more about that experience and how it affected him. Brave, absolutely brave. But may Mr. Terry Hall rest in peace. Yeah, and I literally shared this song just the other day on my Facebook, because I'm looking at all this lunatic business going on. Especially in politics. And that song came to mind. And I played the song and I thought, what a brilliant song that was, all of the music they did, that they wrote themselves especially, not the cover version. The cover versions were good, but the actual songs are always better than covers, really. Yeah. But their own songs were fantastic.
Yeah, well, they actually Ghost
Very
Town.
political.
Well, Ghost Town says it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ghost Town sell it all. You know what I mean? Everything's being closed down, nothing happening. I think that was a period in the 70s, when unemployment was so high and ridiculous.
Yeah. But even during COVID, because I like to share music on my Facebook page. I don't have a radio show or anything, so that's where I play my music. And I was playing Ghost Town during COVID when everything shut down. Yeah. And you realise just how cleverly written those songs are. Absolute. He deserves the accolades he's getting, actually. And beautiful
as I say,
man.
Rest in peace, Terry. Marvelous.
Rest in peace, Terry Ball.
My rant comes in. Now, I'm going to put my glasses on for my rant, just a little bit. Now, to share you what this guy been up to now. Jeremy Clarkson, right, in his column. Wow. At night, and I'm unable to sleep. There's a hateful grinding and teeth. dreaming of the day when Meghan is made to parade naked through the streets of every town in Britain while crowds chant shame and throw excrement at her. Now, this is what this Jeremy Clarkson has wrote in his column for the Sun. He was going very, very easy with it, and then he's had the backlash. Now, this is abuse. This is disgusting. The Scottish minister has actually said this is, this is abuse, and this is very toxic of what he's saying about Meghan, the lady. One artist from Birmingham, Laura Melvilla, she said, I feel fearful. This is an African Caribbean artist. He says, I feel fearful of what Clarkson has said for a woman of color. Yes. Now, Jeremy is literally stirring up hate. Yeah. And I don't know what's the matter with that guy, because he doesn't need to do that. He's got a big, big television program, Millionaire. Yeah. Which he comes on. So he doesn't need to do that. So why he's decided to start doing this, his hatred for this person or this lady who hasn't done anything, why has he jumped on the bandwagon? This is an old guy. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with age. He's an old guy, right? You think he'd take his money, go and relax with his money, and enjoy his money, and do what he has to do. Everybody can have speech. Everybody can have free speech. The thing about free speech, you have to be careful what you're saying about speeches. A lot of people has also said, oh, he only speaks what's on his mind. I could speak a lot of stuff that's on my mind, even though this program is called What's on Your Mind. But there's a limit that you won't go beyond. Because if I go beyond the limit, I lost my job, I go to prison, and a whole lot of things. And so when you people out there talking about, or he's talking what's on your mind, think about what you're saying. I only deal, says, with common sense. And this attack on this lady, I mean, most politicians has said, well, you know what I mean, it's disgusting. I think about 22,000 people has complained about it. It's one of the highest complaints to the authorities. Will the authorities do anything about it? I don't know. We'll see. Marcia, will they condone it? I don't know. We'll have to see. Marcia.
We'll just have to make sure
Condemn
it's not condoned. I think we need to stop tolerating things the way other communities wouldn't tolerate.
That's
things
right.
like that being said about their own. I mean, we can't be talking about, oh yeah, but she's not one of us. She's mixed, blah 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 blah, and all this nonsense. She's still a black woman. She's seen as a black woman, and whatever they say about her, they're saying and thinking that about all of us.
Exactly.
Really, we just
Exactly.
but she's a public figure. They can target her. They feel they can do this. Well, this is how they feel when we stand up. When we expose what's going on, look at Fulani and you see what happened to her. You know, anytime we decide to talk the truth about our lives and what we experience, and anything that shakes their system a little bit, which Megan did. Actually, she's shaken the system a lot with her, with her revelations and everything else. She decided she's not tolerating it. So it threatens them, that someone can come in and shake up their establishment. And it's just getting closer and closer to exposing what this system is built on. I did actually, just because of this, watch the Meghan and Harry series on Netflix.
Yeah.
Just because of this, to see what was all the fuss about. And there's a bit in there where they talk about what the royal family is built on. They actually said it's built on the blood of African people. It's built on the blood of black people, on the backs of black people. They're saying so much in this Netflix series that isn't just about Meghan and Harry. It's about how this system and how this monarchy came to be and how it continues to suck African nations and, other nations dry. So what they've done is expose more than a royal relationship and a little bit of tittle-tattle about the media chasing them down. It goes deeper than that. And it could actually, I think, I'm seeing little rumbles, lead to the breakup of a system, really. These little things ripple out. So these guys, I think, really feel they need to go all out to do whatever they can to protect what's left of this system, rallying the troops. this is a rallying call, really. And
Yeah.
doesn't it feel like not that long ago when they were hanging and whipping and stripping and doing all sorts
What this guy
and
is saying?
parading women around naked and
Yeah,
as
yeah. Thank
punishment,
you, thank you. That's
you
what he's saying,
know?
isn't it? Where he's going? Where is he living? This is what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Where is he living? When
yeah.
they talk about
You know,
naked, or
that should
you know
be
what?
a
You know what?
crime. That should be a crime. He should
It
be in
is a crime. It
prison.
should be a
He
crime. You
should
know
be
what?
locked
I think this
for
guy,
that.
I think this guy, he
Hmm.
goes to bed and he has all these
Yeah.
fantasies in his head. You know those ones, isn't it? He goes to bed and he all has these
Yeah.
dirty little fantasies in his head. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's what is going on in his brain. You know,
Hmm.
he got all these little dirty little fantasies going on in his head. Fantasies
Yeah.
about women of color or
Yeah.
whatever. There was this what should happen to women
Yeah.
of color? I mean, which is actually disgusting.
But to
The
hate
trouble
her,
is,
did he say he hates her even more than Myra Hindley or something like
yeah,
that?
yeah, the,
Did he say
the,
something like that?
yeah, yeah,
About hating her, despising her even more than the Moore's murderer or something? I don't know.
yeah,
I'm sure I saw or read that he said that, you know.
yeah. I mean,
How can you despise someone like Meghan more than you despise
yeah.
a mass murderer?
I mean, this guy got done for racism before, and he was
He
actually
did.
before he left Top Gear, he was actually at the
Oh,
BBC.
yeah,
And what happened?
yeah,
What happened? The BBC crew was filming somewhere, and he
yeah.
went to a hotel, and basically the he wanted something hot to eat, and he didn't get what he wanted hot to eat, and he literally abused one of the production team that BBC was actually using. You know what I mean? And he was they talk about this, and he was actually he abused and all that sort of thing. The other thing as well, what he did, he's the BBC, whoever his boss was, like I mean, they had a talk with him, and the person who actually had a talk with him allegedly had to have guards after that for fear,
I remember.
for fear.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that alone should be a crime. To be in the public eye and spout things like that,
And the other
really,
guy we see
and
as well
think that you can
the other
hold
guy
your
we see as well
job.
is doing this kind of rubbish is Pierce Morgan.
Piers Morgan, the two of them.
Yeah,
You know, what is it
two
with?
two
Yeah,
oldish, two
hmm,
oldish middle-aged Caucasian
yeah,
men. They're the
yeah,
ones who you don't see any younger Caucasian people doing this. They're the one who's at the helm of
yeah.
this
Well, they've got the
disgusting
power
thing.
to do this. They've got the power to do this,
Yeah,
and you can see why Meghan had to leave. You can see why Harry had to take Meghan away. And if this is what's being said in front of our faces, just imagine what goes on behind the scenes and what they're actually saying. And if you can think this is a celebrity, just imagine when you have people like this, head of forces and head of departments and heads of,
exactly.
in the police force and so on. So if you notice, more and more of this is coming out in terms of what certain people really feel,
Mhm.
you know. Um, they're just speaking the stuff that others are feeling, but not
Mhm.
in a position to express. And he's just lost it. He's lost the plot.
Yeah,
And there's no way he should be back on TV. And we have to ensure that through whatever means, we do not see this man on
Well,
TV
the other thing
again.
is
It's
what I've noticed about him. He's got a lot of support out there. If you look on social media, you see a lot of people
yeah,
out there
yeah,
supporting him.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
That's what I mean. He would be getting a lot of support because he's expressing the stuff that a lot wouldn't have the courage to express, that can't express. He's speaking on their behalf. But the good thing about this is just the amount of people who've come down against this.
Mm.
Other celebrities. His own daughter has basically, I think she's disowned him, or she's removed herself anyway from any of this. And she says, this is my dad speaking. This does not represent anything that I stand for. She's totally disassociated herself. So,
Yeah.
if anything, seeing the amount of people speaking out against this is promising. You know, it's very very promising. But yeah, it's not a good place. I mean, I really feel for Megan. Really, I was a little bit. I wasn't sure where I stood with Megan at first, but the more I hear, the more I see, I can see exactly what she's had to put up with. And nobody believes it's like as a black woman and you're expressing your pain and your experiences, no one wants to believe. So everyone's accused her of faking her tears and faking her emotions as if she's not entitled to feelings. And this is a common view of the black woman, really. You know, everyone else is allowed to feel, but we aren't. You know, if we express our feelings, we're not believed. So good on Meghan, and good on Harry too, I would say, you know, because it's a bold step for him to step away from everything
Yeah.
that is, you know, all those comforts and everything and royalty for the love of his wife and family.
Mhm.
That's bold. That's brave. You know, so
I know. I know. It's disgusting.
big respect to them
Quickly,
still.
Marcia, my time is coming to a close again.
Oh, chatting away. Chatting,
Anything else you
chatting,
want to share with
chatting.
us before?
This is probably the final show, isn't it? Before the end of the year. The
Before,
final, is it?
yeah.
So I would just like to wish everybody a happy season, as we say, happy holiday, and just be safe, be healthy. All right, don't go out overdoing all the junk they're advertising that we should sit down and
Yeah.
eat. In fact, don't even sit down and eat.
Thank you, Marcia.
keep it moving.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to say. Two
Marvelous.
things: keep it moving and let love rule,
Rule.
as Lenny
Thank you.
Kravitz says.
Thank you for taking part in the program, Marcia. We catch you back
Thanks
after
for
the Christmas, I'm
inviting
sure.
me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now,
thanks for inviting me. It's always a pleasure.
thank you. Look
Thank
after
you.
yourself. Have a great Christmas. I would say happy holiday. Happy Kwanzaa. Yeah. Right, guys.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Let me say thank you for tuning in to Breakthrough TV. I want to say thanks to my producer. He's been fantastic all year. Lots of hard work he has to do. Let me say thank you. What's on your mind is actually signing out until we see you again. The other thing I must also say is that if you're going out, be aware of what you're drinking and be aware of where you leave your drink, because somebody is out there and they can always come and put different things in your drink. Yes? So be careful of if you put your drink down, be careful where you leave your drink on the table. Be aware of that, because there's some nasty people out there and they'll do things like that. And before you know it, you'll end up where you shouldn't end up. Also remember, don't drink and drive. Thank you for watching the program, all you guys across the world. Let me say a big shout out to you. Merry Christmas,
Yeah.
Happy Kwanzaa, Happy
Merry
holiday.
Christmas.
God bless you. Thank you for
And
tuning in the
stop
program.
watching the news.
Carl. I'm Carl. Massive respect. Thank you. Look after yourself. God bless you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
On Your
Happy
Mind
Kwanzaa.
is sponsored by ACMC 339 Dudley Road, New Star Radio 98.7 FM, Breakthrough Studios, and Reggae Jam Jam.
Planning an event? Do it professionally. Please contact Breakthrough Event Management Team and get everything under one roof for both indoor and outdoor occasions, birthday parties, bridal and baby showers, anniversaries, funerals, backyard BBQs and more. We offer a video and photography service, marquees, decoration and a PA system to hire, with popular new style radio DJs spinning old and new school hits. Please contact 07584 197 380 and book all your catering needs with Reggae Jam Jam catering service on 0787
244 3765.
And remember, do it good and done.